Thank you for welcoming me onto your screens, onto your headphones, depending on how you're watching this. I'm Eddie, and this is The Rollback. Folks, I'm here to talk to you today about Saw, aka the film that brought us James Wan.
Live or die.
So this film actually kickstarted the entire Jigsaw franchise with its 10th installment coming out this Friday. Hashtag not sponsored. Now that said, the first Jigsaw that kickstarted this whole massive franchise was a juggernaut, to say the least, which is very odd because this is a very humble film. A movie was made for less than $2 million, which is a micro budget even back in 2004. That said, this film by James Wan, you can kind of tell it's a director coming into his own, kind of learning and growing from there. The film is actually based off of a student film that James Wan actually made in college. I think it was college. But it was more or less surrounded around the Amanda character and her surviving the bear trap, rather than it being about Tobin Bell's character, Jigsaw, and his traps. This film has a lot of the things that the whole Saw franchise would be known for. To start, we have Adam and Dr. Gordon, the two initial people trapped in this room, playing a game of cat and mouse. This movie, not so much about the Jigsaw Killer, but more or less about who is he, the mystery of the Jigsaw Killer, and why does he do these things. It gets shown to us later on that he does these things to show people, aren't you grateful to be alive? Because, why get people into therapy? Why get a drug addict into therapy? Instead, just, put a deadly trap to them. Hopefully that'll solve everything, right? I mean, look, all jokes aside, as far as how ass backwards his philosophy is, the movie arguably kickstarted the whole, torture porn genre. It kicked horror films in the ass that were kind of dragging post-Scream. This movie is a genre-defining film, but is it a good one? Yes and no. You can kind of tell, especially if you watch James Wan, the longer he goes, you can kind of see, not the cracks, but him growing as a director. A lot of odd editing choices are done in this film as well, with odd cuts and whatnot with Danny Glover and Dr. Gordon. In addition to that, the characters are fine, but a lot of the set pieces are done almost on like a daytime soap opera drama. Like, it's weirdly shot. And again, for sure, a more experienced director would have known how to hide those things. The movie just feels odd. The lighting feels odd. The characters feel fine. The direction is great. It's just, you can tell that the tools they were playing with were very basic. And I don't mean that in a mean way, just, it means a lot to see where these films came from to where they are now. That said, this film, it has a lot of things that the whole Jigsaw franchise would be known for. It's also not as gory as other films. A lot of the violence is implied. Like, you never actually see Dr. Gordon cutting off his own foot. You just see the blood splurting out, but you never actually see the saw cutting through the bone. That's one thing. The use of a lot of cuts and flashbacks. A lot of moments of jumping back and forth. This is not a linear story. The story jumps around from all over the place with a cast of characters. And that's what happens as this movie goes on. I always think of the Saw franchise as almost like a novella. Like, as the longer you go, the more is revealed, the more you begin to see. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, that's up to you. That said, the original Jigsaw, I'd give it a B. None of the Jigsaw films are like super far outstanding. They're all fine. They're all incredibly violent. I'll say that much for damn sure. But that said, what y'all think? Go ahead and comment down below. We'd greatly appreciate it, and we'll catch y'all later.